Hello, South Florida. Welcome to another live edition of the Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate and America's longest running daily radio show all about real estate. My name is Eric Willner, and we are here live Monday through Friday, right here on local AM station, AM 1470. Part of the Money Talk Radio, also on the FM dial on 95.3, 96.9, and also on the smart app that you can download, the iHeartRadio app, TuneIn app, just to name a few of them. Even WWNN has their own app that you can download on the phone and take us with you on the go. In addition to that, you can also listen to us on the website, autolandlord.com. That's our website that streams this radio show live. When you stream it there, you can listen to live at 5. That's 5 days a week. And you can also listen to the recordings that are posted up there under the Real Estate Show notes. So check it out there, available on demand. If you don't want to hear it live, if you want to hear it live, be there at 5. Anyway, I just wanted to let my engineer know I'm getting feedback. I'm hearing myself listen when I speak. Thank you. And now we have also a Facebook Live page where you can watch the video version of the Real Estate Show. So it's been a busy week in turns. As many of you may know, the moratorium was allowed to expire on July 31st. That was this last Saturday. And it looked as if it wasn't going to be renewed. And in a last minute, not even 11th hour, it was after midnight because it didn't come until Monday, Tuesday, where they were able to get the CDC, a little strong arming and getting them to reimpose the moratorium to protect the renters. And this is really a fascinating discussion because it's a lot more than what superficially you would think. It's a matter of preventing evictions and not preventing evictions, and who's right, who's wrong, what's best, and what should really be done. As we talk in our later shows this week, we talked about the fact there's $45 billion in funding out to assist landlords, of which only about $3 billion of it has made it out into the hands of those people that need it. So the government has not been a very effective conduit to getting this stuff out, mired in a lot of red tape, a lot of bureaucracy, and quite frankly, I'm not even sure why many of the states, some of them better than others, some of them worse than others. But it's important now to understand what it is that you can do if you're in that position. Now, interestingly, I gave some statistics last week about the number of people, and it was estimated that there's somewhere north of 11 million folks that haven't paid their rent. Now, in a industry specific, Housing Wire reported that fewer than 5 million households failed to make their rent or mortgage payments in the second quarter of 2021, which is even fewer now than was Q1, the first quarter. And what's important is that obviously the more people they can get back on schedule and back on track, the better it is across the board. It's better for the homeowner, it's better for the renter, it's better for the landlord. Quite honestly, it's better for the government if they don't have to come in and increase the federal deficit in order to bail out people if they don't have to. And so it's a very interesting conversation following both sides. And obviously, whenever you're talking about millions and millions of people, there's always those folks that whether they're on the fringes or even not so much on the fringes, that are taking advantage of this situation. And so that's where we start getting into the dollars and cents of all of this. So I'm going to come back to those statistics from the Housing Wire, but what I wanted to do is continue talking what I was sharing yesterday, which was what you need to know if you're in danger of being evicted, whether it be from the property that you rent or the property that you own. And quite frankly, squeeze between a rock and a hard place is the landlord in this. So the bottom line, the official word now is that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as their full title is, on Tuesday, and like I said, not at the 11th hour, not 24, but 48 hours after it expired, and obviously causing a lot of people to really fear what's going on. Now, remember, on Tuesday, I shared with you a list of the states that had already preempted and extended their own state-based moratoriums. And now you're going to see this with the new CDC ban, which now is actually looking at things by county. And remember, the CDC is expanding and starting this new moratorium. It is a new moratorium, not an extension of the other one, based on, by the way, rules changed. Number two is that it is based on a percentage of COVID infections in a specific county. So if you're in a hot county, and right now, Texas, Florida, the most populous states are now considered to be epicenter level, rising level. So you can pretty much be rest assured that those two states do have protection for in those areas, what to do. And I'm going to talk about that in today. Today's going to be very informative on that way. And then number two, let's talk a little bit about those new rules, if you will, on what's going on there. So those that could be evicted when the protections lift should consider what options they have now. So not covered because you're not covered by the new CDC ban, whether you could soon not be covered because all do. And I'm going to tell you, everybody's going to start watching this new website, starts talking about what percentage of the county is adversely affected by COVID. And if it's above that percentage, the protection is in place. Once you fall below that, and it'll be interesting to see what happens if there's sort of a fluctuation. Today it is, tomorrow it isn't, today it is again, and tomorrow what happens. And this is kind of creating, I imagine, a lot of confusion and perhaps even a nightmare for some judges who then have to be the arbiter on that situation. So if you're not covered by the new rules, the current moratorium is without congressional action, or if it's overturned in court, which is another possibility, because there are many who will say that the CDC doesn't have the authority to, and I guarantee you that those that are looking to get paid, and especially those that need to get paid to survive at the mom and pop level or to survive at the corporate level, this is obviously is very extreme in terms of the hardship, number one. Number two, and then another of the discussions that is now surfacing is the $45 billion, especially if you extend the moratorium, is the $45 billion already approved? Is that even good enough for them to get paid? Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Here are a few words from our sponsors. You're listening to The Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner, and we will be right back. Let's see, we got the engineer calling here. Hello.
Eric?
Yes, sir.
You dropped.
Okay, let's try to get back on.
All right, I'm playing music now. Do you want to just go to commercial? You can come back.
Yep, I'm on Comrex 2 now. I went to Comrex 2. Comrex 1 would not let me on.
You can't get into Comrex 1?
I'm sorry?
two now. Okay.
You got me on two?
I do. You want me to go to commercial and then you want now?
No, go ahead. Do the break commercial, and then I'll finish off without interruption.
All right. You got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Susanna, how are you? We're just resolving some technical difficulties, but it looks like that's going to be resolved, and we'll go into a break and come back out. But did you guys see any interruption on Facebook while I took that call? And I love your comment. Thank you, Susanna. Call me Tavatua. Interesting name. And then we got Felipe. Hey, Felipe out there in California. How are you guys doing? And how are you seeing your numbers and things? Do you feel like you're taking a step forward and a step backwards? Looks like we're having we've been having challenges all day. Seems. Is it a full moon or something? Okay, coming back. We're about ready to go live again. Live on the air, that is. On the radio air. For those of you just joining us here on the Real Estate Show, my name is Eric Willner. I am your host here. We are live Monday through Friday talking about real estate. We are live here, 5 different methods that you can reach us, the AM, the FM, the apps, the free apps that you can download to access the AM and the FM radio stations that are out there now streaming on our website, where we also stream at automaticlandlord.com. That's landlord.com. Go to the top of the page where you can click on the listen live button if you're there live at 5, or then you can listen to any one of our previous shows. And this is particularly an interesting and very, very volatile week when it comes to the conversation about real estate as it pertains to the moratorium. Market's still hot. Interest rates are still low. Everything still seems good. Even though the moratorium expired last Saturday. But obviously it would take a little while for the effect of that to take in place. But it didn't have time, because 48 hours later, it looks like we're back in moratorium status. Now, as I was saying in the beginning of the program, there are a lot of questions raised. Number one, does the CDC have the authority to do so? Will this become a legal battle? Will it be a quick one? Because remember, last time the Supreme Court ruled in that it was of what was going on. Now, of course, there with the rise in the COVID, and I didn't get to read the article, but I heard that there was now a new version of the Delta variant, and you wonder, when will this continuous up and down situation end, or will it? Right. So I was also wanted to share with you, the worst thing with all that's going on, whether it be the COVIDs, the vaccines, and permission to travel, and access to real estate and real estate assistance in the case of the landlords and tenants, and of course some of the adversely affected people out there. The worst thing you can do is really to just ignore it, put your head in the sand. This is not the time to turn your back on being well informed. And hopefully this will be a place that you can come on a regular basis, 5 days a week, 5 p.m. We're going to bring you the latest and the most appropriate information. You've got a lot of forces. You've got the New Civil Liberties Alliance. You've got we talked about the Low Cost Housing Alliance yesterday, and basically what's important, number one, is get informed about what the new rules are. And I emphasize new rules because this is a new moratorium, not the same it was before. Under the current updated guidelines, renters areas of the country that have high and substantial levels of coronavirus infection will be protected from the eviction for an additional 60 days. Okay. So right now, the hard deadline, in case you're wondering, because remember, we're now a couple days into this, the hard deadline is October the 3rd. October the 3rd. Some 80% of renters should be protected by the, so consider this a save by the bell. After the bell, these new guidelines. Now, renters can check if they see if they're in such an area on the CDC's website. And remember, yesterday I said you want links to any of these resources, and I know you're overwhelmed. So if you texted yesterday, that may still be in the process, but text to our smart line 561-861-2366. Once again, that's 561-861-2366. I want to make sure that this information, for example, how the link to get to the CDC that monitors the high or substantial numbers there that you'll need to know. Even if you are currently covered, and this is where I want to go with the remainder of the program, good idea, a very good idea to continue to monitor coronavirus case levels in your area. That's why it's important to have the link. Text the word discovery to 561-861-2366. By texting the word discovery, that's the key word, that will start the process. Additional links and resources that will after the first email. So if you didn't get a response right away, either text discovery again, or you can always also reach us on our website at Automatic Landlord and put a comment in there, and we'll make sure that we get that out. We've got a team working on that. Some 80% of the counties in the U.S. fall under the new eviction ban. So the parameters, well, it tells you one of two things. Either the number of coronavirus infections is quite a bit higher than many of you may be considering, number one. Number two, they may have lowered the bar slightly so that based on the number that they're going to put those protections in place. Now, other parameters also apply. You must have an income less than $99,000 for a single tenant and $198,000 for filing taxes jointly. Now, those are liberals when that's well above median income here in the United States. It's double. So it's obviously in place for the wealthy, but it's not exactly poverty level here either. Now, you have to attest that you've experienced financial hardship. And trust me, there will be penalties for attesting to something that didn't happen. And that being, so you have to test that you have financial hardship, that it was caused by the coronavirus, and that being evicted would lead to being homeless or having to move in with others. That last, I don't know if that's that hard or how they're going to require proof of that. So idea number one, apply for rental assistance. People should make sure that they have applied for all available government assistance. And I remind you, look for it on your city, look for it at the county level, and at the state level as the federal. So there's 4 potential layers that as you do your searches for rental assistance, you can search for. Congress, as I mentioned, has already allocated more than $46 billion of emergency rental assistance. And so far, very little of that money, less than 10% of that money, has gone out. So those of you who are probably figuring, because usually whenever there's this kind of assistance, it doesn't last very long because it's usually there's more people that need it than there is assistance for it. And when you start looking at the fact that there have been landlords out there that haven't received rent for over 17 months, there are lenders that haven't received payment for 17 months, or some combination thereof, it won't be hard to eat that money up. So the question is, how do you get that assistance? Well, that's why you want to text the word discovery to 561-861-2366. Some of this may be because people aren't sure how to apply. And that's why hopefully we'll do our part if we can help up where you can apply, how you can apply, and dealing with the different bureaucracy depending on where they live and according to what the guidelines are. So find also your local legal aid program and go through their intake, because they, I'm sure now, are getting lots of calls. This is probably becoming an area of their expertise just because of the volume, and they may be able to help you. Unfortunately, the $46 billion that I talked about, it's federal money, and 50 different solutions, right? Every state has their own version of what they want to do, of how to get it to people. So there's no streamlined process. Now, I think that was probably a little bit poor planning from the top, but yes, at least there's $46 billion out there. Hopefully, if this is what's going to help and keep you in your home, that you have that. Again, the states have different rules and processes for giving out that money. For additional help, you can utilize the Consumer Financial Bureau's tool that has a list of, and that's on at the federal level, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB. You hear me talk about these guys all the time. And they have a list on their website. They even have this tool. It's kind of like a dashboard. Interesting. Then you've got the state evictions. And so we've got a list of which states have bans on there. As of Monday, we knew before the eviction was renewed that there were at least 10 that we talked about there. States like California, Hawaii, Illinois, New York, New Jersey have banned evictions for those facing COVID-related hardships. In some cases, these local bans go for longer even than the current moratorium, some all the way to the end of the year. Renters, listen up. You should make sure that you understand the rules in place in your state, as they differ from state to state. And you should also check for different programs that may be a good time to be talking to those whom you owe money, and vice versa, those that owe money to you. There should be the communication, because a lot more will be accomplished working together than working separately, or worse yet, adversarially. So while the CDC has, for the time being, for the next 60 days, October 3rd, if it holds up in court, it's not waived any responsibilities. None of these moratoriums or anything. Remember, these are not moratoriums on ever paying. These are only moratoriums. These are temporary moratoriums. And yes, the balances do accumulate. We have to pay the piper at some point anyway. So, but everything in life is negotiable. So renters could potentially make a deal with their landlord for repayment and be able to stay, save the cost of moving, save the new deposits for utilities, and not to mention all the credit issues that could ensue if an agreement doesn't come together. So communication, I said, is going to be the valuable lesson of today. Find a legal expert. That's another valuable lesson today. Stay tuned. Same place, same time. Until then, this is your daily edition of the Real Estate Show. Eric Willner signing off. Drive safe, hands, and make it a great day. Bye. All right. Thank you. All righty. No, a couple of technical difficulties, as they like to say, but we got through it. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here on this channel, and I'll this channel. Susanna, thank you again.